say if I told you that you could increase your skills and success with the phone to the point where you're developing an average of 3 to 5 hot prospects every day from 10 quality conversations you have? The fact is, these strategies have already helped thousands of salespeople make this happen. And they're doing it in dealerships just like yours simply because they follow 12 easy to learn, proven steps to create a continuous flow of repeat and referral sales. They're people just like you, and they've turned their phone phobia into phone success. I'm going to give you a guaranteed method for turning the phone into your new best friend. You'll be able to generate more sales than you ever thought were possible. Through many years in this business, we've seen how the phone can be either the most powerful or most misused sales tool in the dealership. There's thousands of sales made or lost each day at a dealership just based on how the phone was used. The phone can either be your biggest time waster or your most effective moneymaker. Having a plan, a tested and proven methodology, is what makes all the difference in the world. Let's get into these 12 steps for seizing the sales opportunities that those quality conversations offer. Before you even begin a phone contact, you need the right tools. There's the old Boy Scout motto, be prepared. Well, it holds true for just about anything worth doing. Outbound calls are no exception. In this case, your tools may vary depending on the preference, but you'll need 5 things. 1, something to take notes on, legal pad, cell phone, computer. 2, if possible, you should have some sort of customer profile in front of you. The more you know about them, the easier the conversation will go for the both of you. Things that are helpful to know include the number of drivers in the household, the current vehicles being driven, who drives what, finance information, service history, general interest, hot buttons, and so on. Again, this isn't always possible, but the more information you have, the better. Number 3, accessibility to this person. If you can't reach them, you can't talk to them. You'll need their home, work, cell number, and email address. Obviously, not everyone is going to give you every single way to contact them, but the more accessible your customers are, the more successful you'll be. Again, very important. If you can't reach them, you can't talk to them. Number 4, before you pick up the phone, you need to have a specific reason to call that's to the customer's benefit. Number 5, it's necessary to have the tools to follow up and follow through with, well, like your dealership CRM, and if you're not in the 21st century, one of our total opportunity management books. They'll keep you organized and on task. Once you've got these 5 basic tools, make sure you have the most important human elements of the preparation. I'm talking about a great attitude and a smile. Those are both things people can hear or sense over the phone. Always make it a practice to smile while you're talking to people. Communicate with an enthusiastic disposition. Believe me, it does make a difference. Wouldn't you be smiling if you're on the other end of the phone of $300, $400 or more? Steps 2, 3, and 4 are all equally important and have to be done in exactly that order. Number 2 is verifying the prospect's name. If the name is listed as William, you might find out if he goes by William or Bill. If his last name looks like something you might mispronounce, ask him if you're saying it correctly. If you mispronounce the name, put someone on the defensive. Keep doing it throughout the conversation, and you've lost this person. How can you expect their cooperation when you aren't giving them any respect? Personally, I rarely ever use the last name. If the customer's name is Tom Stuker, I'd use the first name. Is this Tom? Hello, Tom? I choose that route because it's more comfortable for me and the person I'm calling. In addition to that, if someone calls you and addresses you by the last name, it already pre-qualifies the customer as being some kind of business call. By saying the first name, the person answering the phone is not immediately defensive and assumes it's a more casual call. So respect who they are as well as their time by heading straight into number 3, getting the green light. Did I get you at a bad time? Am I taking you away from dinner? I hope I'm not interrupting anything important. I hope I'm not taking you away from a meeting. Those are a handful of ways to show respect for their time. Even before you introduce yourself and give them the reason for the call, my favorite is, did I get you at a bad time? In fact, saying, did I get you at a bad time has been proven over and over more effective than did I get you at a good time. It will always produce more results. I think you got the point. The important thing is to get the green light before you introduce yourself. This is critical because this is where you take control of the conversation. Once you've established this, it's okay to go ahead and talk. Now you can tell them who you are and where you're calling from. But to start off with, hello, this is Tom Stuker with ABC Motors, you might as well be saying, hi, I'm calling to sell you a car and make a lot of money off you today. They're just going to put up a big brick wall. Get the green light first, and then you'll be ready to step into number 4, introduction. Now that you've verified the customer's name and you've gotten the green light, it's time to make sure the customer knows who you are and in a way that it establishes your professionalism. State your full name clearly. This is Tom Stuker with ABC Motors. This is a quick one. It's easy because you're going to take this step and slide right into the next one. Now it's time to state your reason for calling. This is a crucial step. Combine 3 and 4 into one continuous motion. Hi, this is Tom Stuker from ABC Motors, and the reason I'm calling is... This is where you make an immediate personal connection between you and the customer. It's where you differentiate yourself from all those pesky solicitation calls that the customers get. Make your reason for calling something that is of a direct, obvious benefit to the customer. For example, a 3-day follow-up call after delivery of a vehicle. Mr. Jones, the reason I'm calling is to get back to you and thank you for your business and to see if there's any questions that I could answer for you on the operation of the vehicle. Another reason might be, the reason I'm calling is to thank you for referring Alan to me. He purchased a truck for me last night. One more example might be, the reason I'm calling is because your lease expires in a few months, and I thought this might be a good time to set an appointment to discuss your options. Now, here are the bad examples. How's the car? I just wanted to see how you are. I am updating my record. Really? How's the car? This question is just begging for a negative response because the natural reaction is to think of something that's gone wrong. We're not trying to dodge customer satisfaction. We're just ensuring that every call starts off with the customer's benefit. Come on, if they got 4 quarts of oil in their driveway, they're going to volunteer that information. Just don't create a situation where they've prompted to think of something negative. 6, determine the best prospect in a household. Here are 3 simple questions that'll get you more opportunities than you ever know what to do with. First, how many drivers are in a household? How many vehicles? I basically figure out who drives what. And then lastly ask, of the 3 of you that drive, who's most likely going to be in the market next? Even when you get nobody right now, you can still benefit by saying, no, I didn't mean now, I meant like down the road. See, there's always a likely next, which puts you in the best position for a future sale. Justify. One response might be, that would be my husband, to which you would respond, why do you say that, Mrs. Smith? Has he mentioned the possibility of doing something one of these days? Do you see how soft this is? You're not jumping down her throat with, so what's he looking for? And why doesn't he come in today? Slow down, you got minutes to do that. Remember, soft sell, smart sell, building customers for life, not losing them in a day. That would be my wife, but not till next spring. Well, next spring when she does buy something, so talk about next spring. Don't force it back into here until you motivate them with a statement like, well, here, number 8, qualify. Follow the response from number 7 with a conversation that would go something like this. When she does get something in the spring, do you think it'll be new or used, car or truck, bigger, smaller, about the same size? Now you've qualified him into a smaller, white 4-door and are actually putting a picture of that next vehicle in their mind. If they're thinking of a used vehicle, you might ask, a 1 or 2-year-old car or basic transportation. If they name a specific vehicle that you sell or have in inventory, ask what they like most about it or what draws them to it. Get your customers start building you the vehicle. Take notes and use that information in the sales process. My suggestion is to stay away from specifics on money unless told by management to do so. Focus on them building their next vehicle, setting the appointment, and getting them in a dealership. I mean, you could use some real hard sells like, too bad you're not in the market now. See, whether you're typing while they're talking or writing down on paper, take notes, take notes, take notes. If some guy says, that's the coolest car ever made, And you get him in here in 6 months. You say, Jimmy, you know what's nice about this car? Coolest car ever made. He goes, that's what I'm thinking. I know you think it's silly, but when a customer says, I like that car, or I lean towards that car, don't you sell them things that might only interest you. Ask them what they like about it. Let them sell the car to you. It makes selling so much easier. Sometimes the smallest details pointed out could make or break a sale. Take the time to enter all those notes in the CRM. You got unlimited space. It's a quality conversation, not quantity. Number 9, sell the advantages of buying now. There are more of these than you could think of. Here's just a couple examples. Right now, we have a great availability of that type of vehicle. With the great financing we have, we could save you up to a couple $1,000s just in financing. Would that help? Your trade-in could be worth as much as $500, $600, or even $1,000 over a normal book. Could that help? Oh, your timing is perfect. We're having one of the biggest sales we've had all year. One of my favorites is, with our current sale, I might be able to get you, a nicer vehicle for about the same payment you got right now, or maybe even less. Different things motivate different buyers. For some, it could be trade-in value. For others, it could be monthly payment. Whatever you find it to be, make sure your advantages for buying are geared towards their motivations. There's always a good reason to buy now, always. Whether it's factory incentives, dealer incentives, lease rates, avoiding future price hikes, or trade depreciation, or upcoming repairs to their car, there's always great legitimate reasons for buying sooner than later. When you put some enthusiasm into it, you only amplify those advantages. Every advantage lends itself to a potential appointment, which leads us to the next step. If it's a hot lead, respond with, oh, your timing couldn't be better. Motivate your prospect by making them feel that they're on the right vehicle at the right time, at the right dealership, and of course, with the right salesperson. Give them advantages of buying today, the rebates. Your dealership is in short supply of used vehicles, and you're giving up to $2,000 over normal book for trades, especially customers that have bought from us. Interest rates, inventory reduction, closeout sale, end of the month savings, beginning of the month savings. You have exactly what they're looking for. The weekend blowout, a nicer vehicle for a lower payment. Number 10, set a solid appointment. Now, when you set the appointment, be sure to keep it simple. Ask, when are you more available, during the daytime or evening? Now, that's easy for them to respond to. Don't be tentative by asking, when were you thinking of stopping by? Oh man, that's not setting an appointment, that's asking for volunteers. Where's the urgency in that? Especially if you're on a phone up, you started the call with, hey, you calling about the sale? Where's the motivation? However, don't start throwing around specific dates and time slots either. Don't make them choose between two possible times. What's better, a 2:45 or 3:15? The customer might not be able to show up for either one of those times. First, find out if daytime or evening is more convenient. Let them pick and then start narrowing it down. How about this afternoon around 3? Did you notice I pick a time right in the middle of the afternoon? That's because most people will usually want to go earlier or later. Therefore, they will pick a time when they're more likely to show up. Hey, let's get together sometime this afternoon, say around 3? Oh, that's not going to work, Tom. Has to be earlier than that. You know your schedule better than I do, Dave. So why don't you pick a time? How about 1:30? See, then I go, 1:30 it is. See, notice the customer set the appointment with me, making it better and more convenient for them to come in. Also makes it more likely for them to show up. But here's another part, a very important part about setting appointments. Before you and the customer settle on time, you need to say, see when he says 1:30, I'll say 1:30, here, let me check my calendar. Followed by, yeah, I should be done by then. See, I want to say that again. Let me check my calendar. Yeah, I should be done by then. See, it's important that you say this because even if the appointment is for 1:30, there's a possibility that you might have to take it up at 1:15. See, this will justify you not being immediately available at 1:30. Should they be a small percentage that actually shows up on time? But it also sends a signal to the customer that you're a busy professional and are not necessarily available staying around 24 hours a day. Step 11, connect yourself to the prospect. With your permission, Mr. Smith, I'd like to text you a confirmation of our appointment along with all my contact details. Would that be okay with you? As a matter of fact, after you get the contact permission, here, let me send some additional information to you. What is your email address? Not could I have your email address? What is your email address? You can also follow through with a text to confirm the appointment the day before and 4 hours before, as well as an email confirmation at the same time. Some people even text a selfie with the car of interest, or film a short video of the vehicle and yourself talking, and then send it over to help motivate the customer to come down to the dealership. Step 12 is asking for referrals, but that subject is so important that I'm going to dedicate a whole show to it. So don't miss that show. It's a show that will double, triple your income overnight. I love this business. I'll see you next week.